Would you favor adding Supreme Court justices to the Supreme Court?
At this point, no.
Is it a bad idea or a failure from the top of the Democratic ticket to refuse to answer that question?
Yeah, I think Vice President Biden has said he will answer that question before election, and I think that's important that he do that.
But millions of people are voting now.
Correct. I would handle the issue differently. I'm not running for president, but I believe, to my point, what's important is that I trust the people, and I would have rather had an important issue like this be adjudicated literally through the vote on November 3rd.
So if you stand against that, how would you fight what would likely mostly be coming from your party?
Well, I'm not saying I'm against it. At this point, I don't think it's a wise approach because I would rather talk about COVID. I'd rather talk about healthcare. I'd rather have us focus on issues that I believe should unite us, which is how to make sure more Americans don't die who don't need to die.
So what are you doing in the last little stretch here of the campaign season to try to, persuade voters in a very Republican district to consider a Democrat?
Well, at 6:15, I'll be on the road to Richfield for the fourth time. Do I think I'm going to turn Richfield on November 3rd? Probably not, but I've been there 4 times, and I'm on a live radio program, and they invited me. I've been out to Tooele 3 times for the Libertarian podcast. They brew their own beer, and we talk politics. So I've never wanted to run a campaign that says, woe is me as a Democrat. Oh my gosh, these boundaries, we're never going to win. Because I believe on issues, there are bridging issues. If I get asked about guns in rural Utah, I grew up with guns, I was a deer hunter, and then I want to move to issues like healthcare, like the disunity in our country. So I'll be on the road for the next 4 days. We'll start in Richfield, we'll go through Escalante, Boulder, we'll be in St. George. For the debate night, to your point, I'm trying to find a secret cave that I can actually watch the presidential debate and not let my campaign know where I am. But we're working very hard up through the very end. I just dropped off my own ballot on Sunday at the county building. But again, I'm in this to build our party. I think Utah used to be a healthy 2-party state. That's good for everyone. It's even good for Republicans. So that's why I love this district, not only because of the family story, but because I believe as a Democrat, I want to be in a room where people disagree with me. I want to be in red Utah. It's half my family. I've got a cousin who does alfalfa fields outside Beaver. So as a candidate and as someone who represented our country, I'm fundamentally concerned about how divided we are. I think it's very dangerous. What the war zones taught me is once civil unrest gets out of control, it's very hard to slow it down. And those are the experiences I think I bring to the job.
Do we have a Zoom question?
Zoom.
Okay, we'll continue in the studio.
I just have a question about the Affordable Care Act. There was an exchange up there about whether Representative Stewart was on the same plan as rank and file Americans. But beyond that, what would you propose to improve the Affordable Care Act?
It's a good question. So I'm on the individual market. Select Health sends me a letter every September and says, I've got 10 days to decide. I can guarantee you he's not in that category. What would I do? I think there are issues about bringing prescription drug prices down. I think there's a way, if we give a public option, that would actually improve choice for people. I'm not for taking away private insurance from 60 or 70 million Americans. So I think what you do is you basically look at giving people an option that would be more of a maybe basic option, but it would be under the government. I think a lot of people would actually move in that direction. I think there's another point that didn't come up that I wish had, which is it's good that he got the 988 National Suicide Hotline. I know Seth Moulton, the Democrat who worked with him on that. But to vote 40 times against the ACA, the most important piece of legislation for mental health by far has been the Affordable Care Act. And I wish that distinction had come up. So there's ways, I think, to look at the cost issue. There's still access issues. There's the Medicaid dimension, which this administration has consistently tried to reduce the amount of money going toward Medicaid. One of the principles I have is governing, in my view, is about trying to achieve the public good. And how you get there is an honest, legitimate debate. And every Democratic plan isn't perfect. But I do think the biggest advantage of the ACA is it brought in about 23 million Americans into a system, while imperfect, at least gives peace of mind. The caps, the pre-existing condition, all of those things.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions from Zoom?
No foreign policy questions.
Apparently we're finished.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your time. Thanks for the good questions.